When analysing Vince's top pet projects over the years, it becomes clear what's most important to him is a can-do attitude and a good sense of humour. Of course it's fucking not. It's about being big and ripped. Hulk Hogan, Batista and John Cena are all notable examples of men McMahon saw as being instant face of the company superstars. It's a system built on what has drawn the company money. Yet, there are those that must be considered failures, some that never quite reach the potential the WWE owner had in mind for them. I'm Adam Wilborn from What Culture, and these are 10 times Vince McMahon's WWE pet projects failed him. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to stay notified. Ding, ding, done. Number 10, Nathan Jones. Let's have a look at the checklist for Jones. Tall? Check. Muscles in places most people don't have places? Check. Interesting backstory? Ooh, you bet. During the mid-80s, he became involved in numerous armed robberies and was considered one of Australia's most wanted men. Welcome to the company. Unfortunately, aside from looking the part, the big man lacked the basic fundamentals necessary to wrestle actual matches. Kind of important, that. Tired of the hard travel and backstage politics in WWE, Jones elected to walk away from the promotion in 2003. He never lived up to the potential his look promised, much to the disappointment of WWE's head honcho. Number 9, EZEKIEL Jackson. Jackson, developed in the old FCW, was another muscle-bound performer who definitely had the right look to warrant a WWE push. What I mean by that is, look at the bloody size of him! Initially, Jackson played the role of bodyguard to the Brian Kendrick, before moving to the failed ECW brand and becoming the last ECW champion because Christian can't have nice things. Then there was the core. Numerous injuries got in the way of WWE's plans, and in April 2014, Jackson left the company. Number 8, Giant Gonzalez. Whilst the likes of Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels were having tremendous matches with all comers, The Undertaker was saddled with Giant Gonzalez, who had the least amount of wrestling ability out of everyone on this list. Quite the claim to fame. His push was one based on sheer size and literally nothing else, never coming close to producing the magic of previous giants like Andre the Giant, and by late 1993, Gonzalez was gone. Look, can we just move on so I don't have to look at him in that god-awful monster outfit? Ugh. Number 7, Vladimir Kozlov. For anyone complaining about the pushes of guys like Roman Reigns now, first of all, join the queue, and secondly, at least Reigns can work lengthy matches, Kozlov couldn't, and didn't really take to pro wrestling despite a genuine combat background. WWE tried repeatedly to get him over, even having him defeat The Undertaker clean on an episode of SmackDown. That actually happened, but people just didn't buy into the Moscow Mauler. A comedy tag team with Santino Marella was the best part of his entire WWE run, one that ended in 2011. I've just seen how he looks nowadays. Can I take all that back? Number 6, Bobby Lashley. Lashley was about as good at connecting with the audience as I am at arm wrestling Simon Miller. He looked absolutely phenomenal, but his personality, or lack thereof, was a real problem. Lashley was even chosen to represent Donald Trump, wonder what he's up to nowadays, in the Battle of the Billionaires at WrestleMania 23, and was a featured part of the largest show of the year. That was his biggest moment in WWE before being released in early 2008 following a spell on the sidelines with a shoulder injury. The lack of connection with the fans really hurt him. Let's hope he can do better this time around, eh? Number 5, Fandango. A unique entry on this list, Fandango didn't appear to be the kind of wrestler Vince would put a whole lot of focus on. I mean, he's only 6'4" and 250 pounds. Do you even lift, mate? Much of McMahon's fanfare over Fandango seemed to stem from the actions of fans on the Raw broadcast post-WrestleMania 29. On that show, Fandango had defeated Chris Jericho, a huge win for his career. Come Raw, fans were in party mood, dancing and singing along with the man's infectious entrance music. That caused a stir in WWE, and McMahon felt like he could capitalize on the online interest to create a new star. The idea didn't last long, though. Fan interest started to wane, and Vince got distracted by something else shiny, big, and presumably quite veiny. Number 4, Mabel. Ahead of others in the tournament like Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, Mabel was crowned King of the Ring in 1995. A popular mid-card babyface in the early to mid-90s, Mabel was an attraction, but not one that could be turned into main event box office. Like a dodgem, basically. Mabel couldn't live up to the WWF's hype and was Great Khali levels of atrocious inside the ring. His main event experiment was all but over by the end of the year. Not before he made The Undertaker look like this, though. Nice. Number 3. Ahmed Johnson. Debuting in late 1995, wow, that was a bad year for WWF, Johnson was another thick and muscular performer with lots of raw potential. Yeah, you can guess where this is going. Reckless inside the ring, stiff and clumsy, Ahmed had a nasty habit of either injuring himself or hurting opponents during matches. Kidney issues would get in the way of a run at the WWF title, and Ahmed's star was never the same following a feud with Farouk in 1997. Number 2. The Ultimate Warrior. Heading into the new decade of the 90s, the WWF crowned Warrior as champion and decided to put full focus on making him the man. Forget Hulk Hogan, they said. This bloke's got muscles just as big and more hair. It was never destined to last. Warrior and McMahon clashed several times regarding money over the next few years, and by 1992, Warrior was out of the picture for good. Just like me on holiday, his time in the sun was remarkably brief, and he just hadn't been able to properly supplant Hogan as the WWF's top star. Number 1. Lex Luger. He had his own bus, for Christ's sake. All-American Lex Luger was another response from McMahon to the success of Hulk Hogan. Luger's patriotic pandering was arguably even more sickening than bloody Hulkamania. Despite the incredible hype, it didn't work out. At SummerSlam 1993, Luger failed to win the WWF title from the massive Yokozuna, even if he celebrated like he did. That is where the hype began to fade. The louder cheers garnered by Bret Hart at the 1994 Royal Rumble showed that fans weren't fully invested in Luger. People wanted Hart to succeed much more, and McMahon, for once, was listening.
Wasn't that something? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe below, and also the people who made this lovely video, they're appearing right here. But if you're thinking to yourself, I want to see more content, Jules, then why not look above my head, as there probably is some. I don't know. I can't see it. Until next time.